Hello, friends. I just came back from a play party last night that I held, and it was mesmerizing in many, many ways. It was so magical. And one of the things I was mesmerized by were the couples. There were quite some couples. And the way they navigated exploring outwards with others and coming back to their own bubble was gorgeous. Or how they would play with other people in this pile of bodies but keep the connection was gorgeous. And I noticed how both that exploration and keeping the safety between them was really touching and really beautiful. And it reminds me of something that I've been thinking of over the last days, which is about healing these insecure attachment patterns that so many of us have. And I am disorganized attached, so I both have anxious and avoidant qualities, but more anxious qualities. And I realized that in past relationships, I could want contact throughout the day, because I never live with my partners since the father of my kids. And there would always be some sort of distance and time not spent together. And I would have this constant, almost a constant need for connection, for getting little text messages and getting replies to mine relatively soon, or at least a little heart. And I started to realize that it is a bit of an addiction. It is like getting these constant little dopamine fixes, like these little nuggets of confirmation, and it's never enough. It's never enough, and it will always come back, because a dopamine fix, this little yum for the brain, yum for the nervous system, is just it's like eating chocolate or something. It's like a quick fix, but it works very short. And I started to realize that, and in the connections that I'm exploring now, I'm trying to see when that's happening, where I want to get that fix, and see if I can I do without? Can I trust that this person is working, is busy, is doing something, that they're not doing something against me, that they're not abandoning me? Can I be with that? Can I hold myself in through this addiction, letting go of it? And that's working quite well. But I'm also noticing that there is a flip side to it, where I don't reach out either, or tell them hey, I actually do need connection now, when I really need it. It's easily to judge myself and be every need for connection, every need for something is that quick fix, is that addiction talking, and I should do without. Whereas sometimes it's just, I need some connection, and maybe it comes from feeling unsafe. Maybe it comes from the anxious part of my attachment. But is that always bad? Is it okay to sometimes just ask for support and not do everything on my own? Or to not want to reach out and to retreat from the connection because I'm not reaching out. I'm not being vulnerable, actually. I am holding myself back. And I think it's quite a fine line, as with all these things. It's such a fine line. Where am I? And how do I connect to you now? How do I reach out? When do I reach out? And when do I not reach out? And that's ongoing research. But I'm curious, do you recognize this? And how are you dealing with this? How are you taking care of yourself while staying in connection, and while saying hey, you know what? I actually need something. Or even saying to someone hey, your communication style is very minimalistic. I understand. And I appreciate, I accept it. I understand. And I need something else now. I need you to actually reach out a bit more, because that's what I need. I'll adapt. I'll meet you in the middle. I'll work on myself. I will do my homework. And I need you to meet me in the middle. I need you to do something as well. And maybe that means for you to communicate a bit more. Even though that might be your vulnerable part, right? Especially if people are more on the avoidance side of things, that might be hard. So yeah, I'm curious, on what side are you? And do you recognize this? And how are you moving through this with as much ease and grace as possible? And if you're fuck yeah, I'm that too, sending you kudos. I know what it's like. Take good care of yourself. Have a beautiful day. Mwah.